Hi everyone, my name is Anthony. So my YouTube channel is all about information and knowledge. So today I'm going to talk about how the Western continent underdeveloped Africa with the use of ideology. So what is ideology? Ideology is the art or the science of creating idea from nothing. Is the act of bringing something into existence for people to believe. For example, religion is an ideology. Religion is the way people worship God. You know, some in Nigeria, for a case study, people believe that when you go inside the house, spend like 40 days, in a church, lock yourself, doing fasting and praying, whatever I ask God, God will do it. But to me, I believe that is rubbish, because for you to get anything, you have to work for it. For example, for you to become an engineer, you have to go for a training. You have to acquire the skills needed for an engineer. So you cannot just go inside the house, lock yourself, and you want God to bless you just like that without working for it. It's good to pray. Prayer is good, So when you pray with the skills you have, with the knowledge you have, then God will answer you. But when you don't have any skills, you don't do anything, you just go inside the church or inside the mosque. You keep on praying for God to answer you without any working for it, without doing any job. You cannot do anything. So these are the ways that the Westerners have been using to underdevelop Africa. Okay, for instance, the Japan is known for its technology. So they believe in research and development. So when a country is focusing on research and development, they will go far. So this teaching is all about enlightening the Africans, so that they can think out of the box, so that they can start competing with the Western world. If the government of an government in Africa can budget more money in research and development, maybe in the next 5 years to 10 years, they will be competing with the Western world. But when you believe that you can get whatever Africa has been praying for a decade, but nothing is happening, So it's high time that we think out of the box, and focus on how to improve ourselves. Not only focusing on maybe going to the church, spending time, It's good to worship God daily. It's good to acknowledge God as your creator, but you have to develop yourself. So this video, at the end of my teaching, I'm going to attach a kind of video where the Westerners we are, doing a presentation on how they keep Africa underdeveloped. So after watching this video, I want you to click and subscribe to my channel, hit like, share, so that whenever I upload subsequent videos about science, information, knowledge, then you can be able to grasp it. So thank you, and I'm waiting to see you some other time. So any message, anything, just you can hit a kind of a comment. If you don't like what I'm saying, if you disagree, also it's all that we agree to. I like criticism. You can criticize. If you like what I'm saying, you can also agree. So I am open to learning too. So thank you. So you can watch the video right now.
Sub-Saharan Africa has been fundamental to the global prosperity of the advanced countries. Okay? and Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message. It doesn't mean to say that there's nothing Africans can do. Of course there is. Okay, but this is the opposition that they're fighting. This is what it's about. Because if Africa does do something different, I assure you living standards of all those in Europe and North America and Asia is going to fall. Okay? And that is a big price to pay. I assure you that the West is not going to allow that without a big fight. Okay, so this is what it's fundamentally about. What I want to show you is how these structures are operating. It's just 20 minutes, so we can't do very much, but just to give you a little bit of an idea. And why I keep the ideology part there is because we are part of the producers of ideology. At universities and academic institutions, we are complicit in this whole enterprise. Okay, so the job of many Western academics is to convince Africans they have to keep doing what they're doing. Okay, and to show them it's your fault that you're poor. It's not our fault. It's your fault that you're poor. You know, so this is what we do in academic institutions, and I want to show that as well. Let me just start. This is what it's basically about, so you know what it's about. But I want to just show you the extent to which Africa is specializing in the production of raw materials and basic agricultural goods. We know the basic forces that have caused this underdevelopment. We know it's colonization. I will not discuss that very much because my colleague speaker is going to go into some aspects of this. But I do want to discuss the global economic structures, the global financial institutions, and economic ideology, briefly, to give you a flavor of those. Let me start with this. You can't really see it so easily, but if those of you who are interested, you want the PowerPoint, I'm sure we can make it available to you. But the thing that you really need to see is the top line. Okay? And the extent of dependency is captured by this statistic at the top. Okay? And you compare it with all other income groups, and what you see is essentially in that one statistic how dependent sub-Saharan Africa is on raw material production. Okay? This is the very heart of what makes sub-Saharan Africa beat. Okay? Here, just to have a look at one very important additional statistic, with all this export coming from sub-Saharan Africa, how much does sub-Saharan Africa account for in terms of global trade value? We know there are vast resources coming from there, but look at the bottom line in terms of global trade value. Look at that. 0.5%, 1975, 0.95%, going down to 0.1. To 0.1. Meaning that with all these vast resources being produced, how much are they getting for it? Nothing. Nothing. This is a very significant piece of data. Then I just want to show you what has happened to sub-Saharan Africa, because what we know, and from all studies, no country ever develops without manufacturing. Okay, producing raw materials will not take you anywhere. Producing basic agricultural goods will not take you anywhere. And let's have a look at how much manufacturing activity takes place in sub-Saharan Africa. We can look over the last 15 odd years, 15, 20 years. And we see manufacturing has actually declined as a percentage of the total. This is percentages of total production in sub-Saharan Africa. How much of it is accounted for by manufacturing? So this figure here is 17% of the total. Most of the rest, when we talk of industry, it includes manufacturing, but the bulk of it is mining. Okay? Raw material extraction. This is the bulk of it. And here we see actually raw material extraction has stayed the same. What has caused industry to fall is the fall in manufacturing production. This is deliberate because we will never, as Western economists, as Western policymakers, we cannot afford to allow Africa to industrialize and start producing manufactures. Okay, so we will do everything to stop that. And I'm going to show you how we actually block that. It's